Hello, dear students of Cairo International School. How are you? I hope you are doing well. So, this is from your Hello Course book, Unit 10, The News. And from the picture, I think you got the theme of the unit. So, the title is The News, and here we have the news reader. And he's telling us maybe some news stories. For example, if we have such accident, as you see, it's a kind of arson. You know arson? The arson is the crime of intentionally starting a fire in order to damage or destroying something like a building, something like that. Or simply, it's a kind of accident that accidentally happened. The fire broke out and nobody knows what happened, but according to the newsreader, he's going to tell us what happened, maybe during the accident or later after the investigations and things like that. So, after all, you got the idea regarding what we are going to talk about within the unit. And here is the main texts from your course book. Here is three news stories, and we need just to match the headings to the stories. The first one, facts, do they matter? School report, where do you get your news? But as usual, I prefer studying the vocabulary before reading, or just pause the video and skim the text, then study the vocabulary, and later we will discuss together the text again. So let's start. Here is the key vocabulary of the lesson. Reporter. Reporter as a noun. A person whose job is to discover information about news events and describe them for a newspaper or magazine or for radio or television. So this is the reporter. For example, a large crowd of reporters collected outside the Prime Minister's house. Okay, because they are going to collect some information regarding an event. She bluffed the doorman into thinking that she was a reporter. Okay, so this is the word reporter. Editor, editor, a person who corrects or changes pieces of text or forms before they are printed or shown, or a person who is in charge of newspaper or magazine. He is the editor. For example, she is a senior editor in the reference department of publishing company. Another example, he became editor of the legendary Irish journal, The Bar. So, editor as a noun, it's a position. Okay? Correspondent. Correspondent, a person employed by a newspaper television station to report on a particular subject or send reports from a foreign country. So he travels across seas or he travels to other countries to just convey or tell us the news from there. Perhaps her most productive job was her 5 year as a foreign correspondent in New York. One more example, she spoke emotionally about her experiences as a war correspondent. See, as a war correspondent, she travels even during war to just transfer the news to us from there. And journalist. Journalist, a person who writes news stories or articles for newspaper or magazines or broadcast them on radio or television. And here broadcast it's a verb, okay, it means to tell us. The journalist took notes throughout the interview. One more example, he refused to say anything in reply to the journalist's questions. Okay, so be careful with the two meanings here, correspondent and journalist. Okay, investigator. investigators, a person whose job to examine crime problem statement or something like that in order to discover the truth. So he is investigating the matter. He is questioning everyone to check what happened. A team of investigators have been called in. Someone called in just to come to check what happened. They asked the private investigator to solve the case. Okay? So he is the investigator. Fact checker. Fact checker is a person who makes sure the information is true. Because of course, it's a very important matter here to check the information if it's true or not. Because you are going to tell them to people in public. So they should be true news. We need a fact checker to be sure about what happened. This collected data need to be revised by a fact checker. Okay? And then the word question. Question as a noun. You know, of course, the word question as a noun, when you ask someone, it's a question. But as a verb, when you question someone, it means to ask a person about something, especially officially. So if you feel that something wrong, you need to question. Several men were questioned by the police yesterday about the burglary. And then, when questioned on TV, the minister claimed that there will be some new projects. Interview. To ask someone questions in an interview. So we have here interview as a verb, and here is interview as a noun. Who's the most famous person you ever interviewed on TV? Police are interviewing a 43-year-old man in connection with the murder. So here's the interview as a verb. And of course, we can say we have interviewer, interviewee, okay, and interview itself. So those are the derivatives from the word. Search engine, a computer program which finds information on the internet by looking for words on which you have typed in. Use this search engine like Google. You know Google? So use this search engine to carry out your project. The teacher recommended Google as a search engine to finish our research. Okay? So any kind of application that you can use on the internet to find information, we call this engine. Search engine. Source, the place something comes from, or start at, or the cause of something. Oranges are a good source of vitamin C. Money is often a source of tension and disagreements in young married couples. So this is source. And here's the word broadcast. Broadcast here, it works as a verb and a noun. And be careful because if you are going to use it as a verb, so the second conjugation and the third conjugation will be the same broadcast. And also it can be pronounced like broadcast. So broadcast or broadcast. To send out a program on television or radio. The tennis championship is broadcast live to several different countries. Television camera crews broadcast the event all around the world. Okay? Scene. A view or a picture of a place, event, or activity. So, Laurie painted the street scenes. I went and looked out on a beautiful mountainous scene. There is a battle scene on the front cover. So, scene. And also we have the word scenery from the word scene. Also, it means a beautiful view. Digital nomad. Digital nomad. A person who uses the internet, okay, telecommunications, to earn a living. We can call in, it means to be connected with or contact. We can call in a digital nomad to help us do this task. A digital nomad is the best one to market our goods online because he is an expert in telecommunications. Deliberately, something done in a way that's planned or intended. It's believed that the building was set on fire deliberately. Okay, if something is done deliberately means something done in a way is planned or intended. I didn't do it deliberately, it was an accident. Okay? This is the word deliberately. Since something can be understood by people, so they are not immigrants, at least not in any sense that I understand. This passage doesn't make any sense. The meaning is not clear, so the word sense, something that can be understood. Like sometimes we can say in common, it doesn't make sense or it doesn't make any sense. Okay? So the word sense here, something can be understood. Headline, a line of words printed in a large letter as the title of a story in newspaper or the main points of the news that are broadcast on television or radio. So this is the headline. Sometimes someone can ask you just don't read the articles, just read the headlines. Okay? The news of his death was splashed in the headlines across all the newspaper. The story grabbed the attention of the press as it was printed under huge headlines. Okay? So those are the main vocabulary that we are going to read about in the next slide, and I hope that you memorized most of them because they will make your task much easier during reading the text. So here it is. Here are the three news stories from your course book. You can read them silently and pause the video, and later on you can just match the three headings here to the right text. Okay? So pause the video, read them well, and later, maybe in our virtual classrooms or even inside the class, we can discuss them. After reading, we can extract some language notes, like the word channel, a television station, or canal, a long thin stretch of water which is artificially made. So be careful while using the two words. This is channel, TV channel, and canal. Canal. Headline, a line of words printed in a large letter as the title of a story in a newspaper. And we have the word address, the number of house, name of a road, and town where a person lives or works. And then title, the name of a film, book, okay, painting, piece of music, and so on. This is the title. So you have to be sure that you use the right word in the right sentence. Find, the word find, to discover, and the word found, to build. Oh, you have to pay attention here. The word found, I know that's the second conjugation of the word find, but if you are going to use the word found as it is, okay, separated from find, it means to build a support, okay, in a ground for a large structure. Foundation, the structures below the surface of the ground which support a building. A space and room, space, an empty area, which is available to be used. A room, the amount of space that someone or something needs. So the word room, okay, as noun, of course we know the word room like bedroom, okay, and classroom and so on. But also we have this room, the amount of space. A road, a long hard surface built for vehicles to travel along. A route, a particular way or direction between places. So this is road and route. I think after all you have the main vocabulary and even the language notes, the words in between the lines. So you are ready now to do this exercise. This is MCQ exercise regarding we have just studied. Let us do it together. You can pause the video, write down your answers, and then justify it with me, or justify them with me. Number one, can you give me your email? Email what? Email address. King Lear disputed his own properties and wanted to keep his title. So he wanted to be the king, even he disputed all his properties. Number three, our Anne uses telecommunication technologies to earn a living. Who's the one who's doing this? Digital nomad. Number four, the space is a member of a tribe who travels from place to place to find food. So they are nomads. Okay? So you can use the word nomad alone just to refer to the people who live in a tribe and travels from one place to another. He carries his camera all the time. He must be a photographer. Many swimmers are fond of crossing the English what? English Channel or canal. I know that we gave a definition for the word channel as a TV station, okay? And the canal, it's the route of water. But here, the word channel also it can give the meaning, okay, of a passage for water or other liquids to flow through. So the right answer here should be channel. And for your kind of information also, the English Channel is the area of sea which separate England from France. Okay? We used to get our news from traditional sources. All of us turn to the internet and media for news and social media. Experts fear that we might accept unreliable news stories. So this is the role of fact checker, okay, to be sure that the news is reliable. Space engines lead us to a wider range, so they are search engines. After all, I hope you enjoyed with the brief explanation of the unit and get a full idea regarding the new vocabulary and their meanings. I hope that you read the text. And later on, as I told you, that we're going to discuss it in virtual classroom or even inside the class. So thanks, hopefully, visit Coursera for extra exercise to apply what you have learned. Thanks a lot. See you next session and bye.